Good evening. Welcome to one and all to this session of the Pale Blue Dot series. I'm Sunita. I am a faculty in the Department of Civil Engineering at IIT Palakkad, and I will be moderating this conversation. As many of you may know, the Pale Blue Dot lecture series is a collaborative initiative of IIT Palakkad with the Palakkad Public Library. The intention of this lecture series is to bring to the immediate community the relevant topics of science and technology that is happening. And in keeping with this intention, today's session, which is in the webinar form, we are bringing to you one of the most relevant topics of this time, that is online learning, opportunities and challenges. And for this session, we have with us flag bearers of two of the most successful education programs in the online platform of our country. We have with us Shri Anvar Sadath, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Special Purpose Vehicle Company of the Kerala state called the Kerala Infrastructure and Technology for Education. It is popularly called KITE. In conversation with him, we have Professor Thangaraj, who is a professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering in IIT Madras. He is a national MOOCs coordinator for the NPTEL in the Swayam program of MHRD, MOOC being the massive open online courseware. This session of the public lecture series will be having three different sections. In the first section, we will hear the speakers share their views about some relevant topics that they have chosen. After that, in the second session, we will have a conversation between the speakers on related topics. In the last session, we will take some of the questions posted by the participants and attendees. So if you have any questions, please post it through the chat that is available on both the Zoom and the YouTube platform. Let's move on to the first session. And for this session, first I invite Shri Anvar Sadath to give his presentation, and followed by Professor Thangaraj, who would talk about NPTEL and other related topics. Shri Anvar Sadath.
Good evening, and thanks, Sunita, for the nice introduction. In fact, I'm happy that IIT Palakkad has brought out this sort of webinar series, and extremely glad to hear from the Thangaraj also, especially the initiatives of NPTEL and the MOOC platform. Basically, I would like to highlight the force initiatives in Kerala in education sector, which is happening right now through, earlier it was through the ITR school program and now through the KITE. So I will start with a just brief introduction on KITE. It was started 2 decades before with the idea came with a vision document by Professor U.R. Rao in 2000. In the year 2000, and it was to have a broad-based IT platform plan for Kerala by called Vision 2010. It was that plan. Then it has gone into different stages. ICT became a subject in class 8, 9. Subsequently, 2005, it became a subject in class 10. In 2010, we have started to moving ICT enabled education, in which the IT will not be a separate subject as itself, but it will have its presence almost in all other subjects. So the ICT textbooks have been revamped in such a way. In 2005 itself, we have started moving to free software platform. Earlier days, it was purely on the proprietary platform. 2006, it coexisted, both proprietary and free software platform. And by 2007, we have made the complete migration to free and open source software. Coming to the overall paradigm of ICT-enabled education, we are focusing on 4 basic pillars. The foremost one is, in fact, the policy framework of the state government and the education department to use this technology for the betterment of education system, especially for the public education system. And it should be in an inclusive way. So we have not started that certain schools have this, certain school doesn't have this. It has in an all-inclusive way. In 2003, all 8 standard classes have IT. It was computer science, computer textbook at that time. Then 2004, we made it for our 9 standard. Likewise, whenever we implement the program, it will have an all-inclusive framework. Then the infrastructure readiness. In earlier days, the infrastructure was built by the local authorities, the PTAs and MLAs and MPs fund and all. By 2007-12, Government of India have started the ICT at School scheme, through which we have implemented the largest program in the country in infrastructure-wise. The most important part of this program is the capacity building for the teachers. We have not identified exclusive IT or computer science teachers for this program, which cater around 0.5 million students. But identified the champions teachers who are interested and who are ready to take up this assignment. And they learned these tech tools and techniques, and they became the IT champion. They may be teaching in their school English, Malayalam, social science, mathematics, whatever thing, but they all became the IT master trainees, IT school coordinators, this sort of thing. So it's the capacity building that we emphasize more. Then the content, it has 2 dimensions. One is the delivery platform, for which we use the textbooks in the print form. TV, like Victor's channel, which is most sought after channel right now in the state to have this digital education starting from June 1st. Then the web platform and the other multimedia ways. So these 4 pillars are the basic enabler for the ICT intervention in the state. So as I said, the capacity building, we have ensured that there should not be a single teacher left out without getting sufficient training to use not only the ICT tools, but how to transact their subject using the technology. So they are being empowered up to that level. Then the hardware deployment, in fact, after 2016, government has launched a new mission program, public education rejuvenation mission, under which it has announced a high-tech school program, then high-tech lab program, which is mostly into the infrastructure upgradation in the school. I will come to into that the last. So with this project, if you take this thing, we have made all classroom from classes 8 to 12, comprising of 45,000 classrooms in 4,752 schools, high tech. So in all these classrooms, you can see laptop, projectors, broadband internet, and USB speakers. So this necessary thing. Besides that, schools have this digital cameras, high HD cameras to generate the content, to capture the news and all, and which can be telecasted later in the Victor's channel. Printers, so all other accessories also supplied. So this is for high school. Subsequently, in the year 2018-20, government has extended these programs to lower primary and upper primary. So earlier, the high-tech school stream was from 8 to 12, which include all classrooms, but classes 1 to 7 is setting up of high-tech labs in schools. So now classes 1 to 12 are equipped with the high-tech facilities. Almost 1.2 lakhs laptop has been deployed and 80,000 projectors and 5,000 television multi-function printers, HD cam. This web camera which I am using right now is one which we have given to all 4,752 schools in the state. So all schools are equipped with this. There is the factor. Coming to the platform we have used, we have expended around 900 crore during the last 3 years for building the infrastructure in ICT. But when we see the soft part of that, which is the software, which is absolutely on free software, we have our own customized GNU Linux operating system, which is there in 2 lakhs computers in schools and also with the teachers, students, and all. The software is freely downloadable. And this include a bouquet of application software and digital animation, multimedia, education softwares and all. So they don't have to go and install different sort of software, which we give a package along with our laptops. And that is being used for e-governance, content development, and all. With coming to MOOC, I think we'll have my colleague panelists there to detail on the MOOC. We have tested with a cool KITE open online learning platform, which was come out of a necessity actually. There were requirement for newly appointed teachers to declare their probation successfully, for which they have to undergo 45 hours course, computer course, which has to be certified. And we haven't got time to take them to compute these labs and train, because it will affect the instructional hours. So the thought of different option. Then we came to the MOOC platform. As for so far 12,000 teachers. It was 10,000 earlier, but now with this lockdown and all, 12,000 teachers have been successfully trained on this platform. 45 hours training they have completed. It was through 1:20 mentor student ratio, and it's also customized free software one. Basically, the Moodle customized. I have told that with this hardware and all, we have 900 crore rupees for hardware. But when we compare the value of the software, each machine which we give to schools have software worth 1.5 lakhs rupees in terms of its proprietary alternatives. That too, when we consider in a bulk price. So there was an estimated study on this, and it was calculated that the Kerala government has saved 3,000 crore Indian rupee by using free and open software as part of the high-tech school program. Remember, the hardware cost was only 900 crore rupees, but the savings that for the software is 3,000 crore. As I said, it's an application with bundle with various softwares. For example, for Office package, simply we have LibreOffice, which has for presentation, spreadsheet, documentation purpose. Then for image editing and gym, likewise for even you see we have a chapter of geographical information system in the 10th standard ICT textbooks, because in the 10th standard geography textbook there is a detailed mentioning on GIS. So we put that chapter in the IT textbook, for which we need a QGIS that is there in the software. And if you see the bucket software with the education software, if it is, it's a GeoGebra by Salzburg for maths, FET by Colorado, and so which is that all these free software applications, certain things are easily available, but most of the packages which we have customized for in tune with the curriculum in our schools. Samagra resource portal, which acts as a content provider, or which gives the teachers the facility to do the to prepare the lesson plan, customize it, and use in the classroom, which has different variants and which is absolutely in tune with the pedagogy and curriculum, which is being vetted by the SERT. It's not an IT activity alone, it has a strong academic base. Textbooks which is there from classes 1 to 12. And another innovation which we are doing is on open hardware. We have deployed a lab on lab project for studying physics and chemistry. It's called XPICE, which is being supported by Inter-University Accelerator Center, IUAC, New Delhi. Initially, our 20 teachers were trained them, but now they have started giving training to all physics teachers, 3,000 physics teachers of plus 1, plus 2, or secondary. They have been trained on them, and this experiment has been made as part of the curriculum. Similarly, we have a maths lab from this academic year, the previous academic year. Maths lab means like physics, chemistry, biology, there will be a mandatory lab examination for mathematics, and that too using GeoGebra and other free software applications. For accounting, we have replaced Tally and put GNU Khata, which is having more flexibility and logical sequencing for studying the accountancy package. Then the School Wiki, which is a collaborative platform of all schools details. We use this platform to take the articles, poems, and other images of students during the lockdown period from March into April last week, and 60,000 entries were received, and we call it as Aksharavarsham, and some of the selected texts were published by SERT. Another one, the facilitating environment is, which is also a unique one, is a Little Kites IT Club. Each school have a Little Kites IT Club, which is comprising of students from 20 to 40. So they have been extensively tried on different platforms, some sort of animation using free software, electronics, cyber safety. They in turn started training even mothers. 2 lakh mothers has been trained by them. In fact, this vacation, this April, May, we were trying to finish the training of all mothers and parents by this Little Kite student. There were so many activities in pipeline, but due to the present scenario, we could not do that. But we will be definitely doing this subsequent. And the language computing, which is a very important hardware, and all these other aspects. These are some things. And definitely the e-governance act, all transfer and posting within the department see in Kerala, out of 5 lakhs government, 5 lakhs plus government employees, 1.7 lakhs are teachers, school teachers. So we put up a system for making the transfer and posting in a more transparent way, and all festivals like school coloralism, sports, and science fairs. All this has been automated by using an ERP system. Then the public data of schools are available by keeping the confidentiality, security, and privacy. It's available now in Samedam platform. You can see the statistics. You can see the high-tech schools, where it is there, the school wiki pages, and the map. All these basic details and even the history of that area is available in School Wiki and Samedam. And this is the other peculiar intervention is to have a student as a mentoring program, where it's called Sahidam, which has been made last year. A teacher will be mentoring minimum 25 students, and they will be regularly capturing their socio-economic and academic background and see the progresses, which in turn will be giving to the parents and know where that student need to be supported more or supplemented more. This sort of. This program indirectly we are doing right now with our first bell program, where the classes are telecasted through broadcast medium, through Victor's channel, which is available in social media platform. But after that, the teacher has to do the regular follow-up with the student, whether they were able to see that, whether there any part they need further explanation on the classes. So likewise, the mentoring happens right now in a virtual mode. So that is all these programs, Sagidam, all we were envisaged students at school, but now they are not at school. So even if they are not at school, since this robust system is in place, we could able to do that now in a virtual. The Victor's channel, you might have heard about it right now from June 1st onwards, starting from 8:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening. The classes are being telecasted with a different time slot, which has been accepted. Certain classes has got more than 50 lakhs views, which has gone beyond Kerala, and we have high viewers from US, Europe, and Middle East. This is a program which is available in Facebook, YouTube, and also being live streamed. I mentioned the ICT mothers, and then the other ways of how to use the mobile phone to make the filmmaking for the person. So we have given training to teachers on that. Then IT Fest, which is being there in this year, we have added Scratch programming and animation as part of the IT Fest. So these are in brief about what are we doing in, and force is the key element without which we could not, we might not have able to address these challenges. And I think now after hearing from my colleague, we will have the interaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anvar sir. Now we will move on to Professor Thangaraj.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Mr. Sadath, Anvar Sadath, for this nice talk on the KITE program. I was vaguely familiar with it. It was very nice to see the details of how you've taken IT to schools in a low cost and effective manner. So let me share my screen. Hopefully this should work out. So my talk generally is going to have two parts today. The first one is on NPTEL, which is the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. I'm one of the coordinators of NPTEL. I've been a coordinator since 2011. But NPTEL itself is an old program. It's very similar to KITE. It sort of started around 2000. Formally, it was notified in 2003. It's been around for nearly 20 years now. The first 12 years of its existence, NPTEL was primarily about content creation. So lectures that happened in IITs and IISc and top institutes were recorded and put up on a website. From 2014 onwards, we've been doing MOOCs. MOOCs in a very large scale in India. And I'll talk primarily about the MOOCs effort in this talk. So you can see the numbers of nptel.ac.in. The numbers are really very high. It ranks easily among one of the best multi-institutional projects. It's a project of 7 IITs and IISc. You can see between the website and the YouTube channel, we have millions of views. The number of video hours is 44,000, etc. And number of courses is 2,000 plus. So it's a hugely successful project in terms of numbers. While all these numbers were being raked up, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've been doing much more in the area of MOOCs in India. So just to give you a brief list of numbers to keep in mind, we have offered more than 2,000 courses as MOOCs in the past 6 years. More than 1 crore learners have enrolled in these courses online. We don't just stop with online teaching. We have in-person exams following the online classes so that we can have clear, dependable certification. And more than 11.8 lakh students have opted to write this examination. So it's really a large-scale effort that's been very successful in India. And for those who pass that exam, they get a very valuable certificate which is stamped by the IITs and IISc. So it's useful for their careers as well. Okay, so let me walk you through the numbers, which are really actually quite surprising even to me. Every day I look at it, I'm always surprised quite pleasantly. When 2014, when we started, we offered just 3 courses. There were about 1 lakh students enrolled, 3,000 people wrote exams. If you fast forward to January 2020, it was only half the year, in January semester of 2020, we offered 392 courses in that semester. More than 20 lakh students enrolled, more than 3 lakh people wrote exams. It's at least registered to write exams. It's a huge, huge large scale change, exponential growth in every single number that we have. And this is a nice, nice success story of NPTEL in MOOCs, in the area of MOOCs in India. Now, what is a MOOC? Many of you know about it. It has video lectures. You have assignments that you have to submit. There are some live interactive sessions. Most of it is recorded. There's also a discussion forum where you can interact and ask questions and get your doubt clarified. So hopefully this slide convinces you that NPTEL MOOCs have a huge reach in the country in the area of higher education. We mostly target higher education. So what are the kind of courses we offer, and why is it so special in the Indian context? We offer a wide range of courses. We offer courses in humanities management. We offer courses in all core engineering areas, both in the basic core subjects and advanced electives, and also job-oriented courses like in machine learning or data analytics, MATLAB, wireless communication. All these courses that can potentially get people jobs are also covered by us. So you can see we offer a wide range of courses which are interesting to Indian students, Indian university teachers, Indian college teachers. And what is it that we do additionally in the Indian context? We engage with authorities such as UGC, AICTE, and the ministry. Credit transfer has been enabled now for these MOOCs. A lot of students do these courses and get credit in their universities and colleges. We engage with industry. I'll talk more about that later. We engage with colleges through local chapter, which has been a hugely successful effort. And a lot of our success is dependent on the local chapter effort. And finally, we also do an exam which gives you credible certification and easily and directly leads to credit transfer. And most universities are able to absorb that. So we work very much in the Indian context for the benefit of Indian universities and students, and we've been quite largely successful in that. And if you look at the discipline-wise split, we offer courses in every single engineering discipline you can imagine. For instance, civil engineering, while it may not be very attractive for many other MOOC portals to offer, in our portal you'll find a lot of courses in civil engineering, mechanical engineering, etc. And who offers courses in our portal? You'll see the top leading institutes of the country, IITs, IISc, newer IITs are involved. In fact, IIT Palakkad, in this very semester, there are a couple of one course at least that's coming from IIT Palakkad. So more and more new faculty are getting into our courses as well. In fact, maybe one more Kerala connection is Kerala School of Mathematics. We have a couple of courses coming from there as well. Okay, so who's our audience? About 76% of the people who take our courses are college students. At least they say they are college students. 19% are faculty from college. So this MOOCs is becoming a huge faculty development initiative. In fact, AICTE gives faculty development FTP points for students who do these courses. So that's another big additional benefit. And about 5% is from industry, people who want to reskill. And why are people taking these courses? You can see this credit transfer number, which is steadily climbing. But generally, it's because colleges encourage their students to do this. They see value in it, and students want to explore other domains of knowledge, which is also very nice to see, because this is primarily a learning initiative. You can see about 90% of the people who register to write the exam actually show up, and about 87% so far have been passing. So that's a pretty good indication of the good training that happens in the MOOCs, right? So not only students get trained online, they have the confidence to come and write an in-person exam and pass in large numbers, which means that the training is happening quite effectively. So a couple of recent initiatives, I want to talk about other initiatives associated with the MOOCs. While we offer online courses, we also back it up with a lot of other nice bundling of courses, working with colleges, working with industry. So we have an offline infrastructure also which supports this. So one of our recent areas is NPTEL domain certification. Instead of just focusing on individual course certificates, which is what MOOCs is all about, we are bundling a set of related courses together and calling it a domain. So for instance, you might want to take three core courses, 3 elective courses, and pick up a domain in data science, right? So now when you have a domain certificate, that shows that you're an expert in that area, and you have to pass some 6 courses that gives you extensive experience and learning in that area, and it's very, very useful. So already people are picking up domain certificates. It's becoming a very interesting thing for universities and college students, and hopefully this will become a very interesting thing for many people to follow. So this breaks up area into multiple smaller divisions, and it's very exciting for other people to do. In fact, many IIT students themselves like these packages that they are taking. So like, for instance, a civil engineering student might do a computer science certificate, etc., etc. So this kind of interdisciplinary work naturally becomes possible. Like I said, local chapters are a huge pillar of support. One of the big reasons for success, if you look at the semester registration number here, more than 80% of our registration for exams comes through local chapters. So we network with a large number of colleges. The number shown here is 3,700. It has actually increased beyond 4,000 today. We have one ambassador or representative for NPTEL in this college. We maintain a very good relationship with them. We have teams here which work with them very closely, get feedback, and try and improve. A large majority of these colleges are engineering colleges, but we also have quite a few arts and science, management colleges, other areas coming in. So if you're in the audience here, and if your college is not a local chapter, I would urge you to become a local chapter. It's easy to become one, and you have a lot of benefits when you become a local chapter. By the way, there's no cost associated with becoming a local chapter. It's entirely free. Another very recent initiative which is picking up a lot of steam recently is regional language translation. So all of our courses are in English, and also I wanted to mention that all of the courses online are free. This MOOCs program from NPTEL is completely free. Only the exam has a cost for which you have to pay. Now we've been embarking on this big translation effort. So we take the transcripts of the lectures in English and translate it into so many different languages. You can see the 8 principal languages that we're translating it in. This is picking up a lot of steam now. So even if you are not very comfortable with English, you can have the material in other languages. And finally, I would like to close with a slide on Industry Associate Program. We have a small Industry Associate Program which is slowly picking up. We have put 43 partners today, and these companies help us co-offer courses. They give us CSR support. They recruit from NPTEL. They provide other types of internships and trainings, etc. So this has also been very, very successful. So in short, let me stop the share and move on to the second part of my talk. In short, just to conclude the NPTEL activity, it's been really a very, very fulfilling activity for everyone who's involved in this program. People have really enjoyed this so much that faculty in IITs enjoy it, colleges enjoy it, even general public, a lot of people enjoy it. That we got a lot of confidence to move ahead with this. Okay, so we do courses, we do domains. What should be the next natural thing? And that ended up being an online degree. And that's the next part that I want to talk about. Okay, so having gotten confidence by running NPTEL for the past 20 years, IIT Madras went ahead and has now recently launched a BSc online BSc program and online diploma programs in the area of programming and data science. And this was launched recently by our minister on Tuesday, 30th of June, 2 or 3 weeks back. And I want to take a few more minutes to walk you through the important aspects of this unique offering. Many people, not just us, many people think it will be a game changer in the area of Indian higher education, bring high quality at large scale with a good reputation for the learners and good employment opportunities. So this is the online BSc degree in programming and data science. It has a lot of unique features which are very different from what you associate with IIT. The moment you say IIT, everybody thinks of the entrance exam. They think so many people dream of getting into IIT, but you cannot get in. There's very few seats, very selective, very exclusive, very elite. This is the kind of program. This is the kind of thoughts that most people have. With this online BSc degree in programming and data science, we wanted to do something very different. And you will see the way the program is designed. It's flexible, it's inclusive. It depends on how hard you work during the program. You don't need to prepare for a big entrance exam or spending a lot of time. It's very exciting, and we're very excited about this program, and we hope that this succeeds as much as our expectations are. Okay, so this is a picture which captures the entire program. Right in the middle of this picture, you can see that there are 3 levels in this program. There is a foundation level, then there is a diploma level, and there's a degree level. And there are 2 entry points. I will talk primarily about the first regular entry point. Who is eligible to get into the regular entry? This is anyone who has a 12th standard. Just imagine the difference between this and the IIT JEE. People write entrance exam, prepare for the entrance exam for so many years and then get into the program. So here, anyone who has just finished 12th standard can apply, and they have a realistic chance of getting in if they work really hard. I'll talk about the entry process, and there is a small eligibility process there at the entry. We call it the qualification process. I'll talk about that. Once you successfully clear the qualification process, once again, I want to emphasize it's only a qualification process. It's not an entrance exam. Once you qualify, you get into the foundational level. The foundational level, we build the basic foundations. Imagine this is a course in programming and data science, but we are not expecting mathematics in 12th. Right? Anyone who's just finished 12th, you could be a commerce student, art student, anyone, you can still apply. So we have to build up the foundation in the program itself. We'll build all the foundation that's needed in the first year. And only when you clear the entire first year, you can move to the next level. And that is the diploma level, where you pick up all the core skills in programming and data science, how to build an application, how to program, how to know about databases and all that. And then machine learning and data science as well, how to design machine learning algorithms, how to use machine learning algorithms, how to get some meaningful business analytic results from machine learning algorithms. All of that is taught at diploma level. Once again, you have an option to exit at the diploma level by picking up some diploma, either in application development or in data science. You can pick up either of these diplomas, and that diploma, I would like to remind you, comes from IIT Madras. This is a diploma offered by IIT Madras. It's a very prestigious thing to have. If you finished all the courses in the diploma level, you are eligible to apply for the degree level courses. So you can move into the degree level. There you would do more core courses, elective courses, etc. And then when you complete all of that, there are a total of 31 subjects to clear, 116 credits to earn. When you finish all of that, you will get a BSc degree from IIT Madras, and you become an IITian. You become an alumnus of this institute, and that's a wonderful thing that you can aim for. Anybody can aim for this today, and that's a very prestigious degree to have. A couple of things I want to point out: while all of the instruction is online, all exams are in person in this program. So every subject that you learn will have 2 quizzes that you have to appear for in person, and 1 final exam you have to appear for in person. These exams will be held all across the country in a center near you. You don't have to travel too far. In a center near you, this will happen. So it's also possible to directly enter the diploma level and exit with the diploma. In case you're interested, you're in industry, you already have a degree, you only want to pick up some specialization, that's also possible. It has a separate qualifying process. So as you can see, very flexible program, designed for online delivery, designed for people to consume in an easy and effective manner. Here's the listing of the courses. I don't want to talk too much about it because I think this audience, maybe this area is not suited. I just want to mention there are foundations, there are skills, and there are electives and core courses to specialize in a chosen area. So a couple of important things to point out. UGC regulations, as of today, the committee has recommended a second degree is also possible. You can be in college on campus and register for an online degree as a second degree. It's yet to be officially notified. The committee has recommended it. Hopefully it will get notified. And then this you can do while in college as well. It's a very high demand for programming and data science. This program is uniquely aligned with industry requirements. It's very suitable for online delivery. And finally, this is being offered by IIT Madras. It's been India's top technical institute for 5 years in a row now in NIRF. And we're aiming for a really high quality, large scale UG level course, which will set the standard for online degrees in India and really show that online degrees can revolutionize higher education in some way. A quick word about the entry program. Like I said, we have a very broad entry criteria, and there is a self-contained qualification process. So you come into the program, and then you have to go through 1 month of class training, and that's just online material that will be given to you for 1 month. You have to learn that and then appear for an in-person exam. And anyone who passes this exam, anyone who qualifies in this exam, gets more than 50%, is through into the foundational program. Okay, so that's what we're saying. So there's no entrance process. You don't have to be within the top 1,000, top 10,000, top 20,000. You just have to qualify. And when you qualify, you get into the foundation program. And that's really wonderful. I mean, anyone can do this. There's no need to have studied physics or chemistry in school. Art student, commerce students, medical students, lawyers, anyone who's interested in learning about programming and data science, this is a wonderful opportunity, high quality opportunity. The fees is very, very affordable. I want to also mention, the fees, this is the total fee that we're showing here. The fee for the first year is really less. It's only 4,000 per course. And you pay only what you do. You pay for the credits that you register for, and you can stretch your program over even a period of 6 years. So you can pay all this over a period of time. So it's very affordable for people. And in fact, if you are economically challenged, if your family income is below 5 lakhs and below 1 lakh, you get a very significant waiver, 50% waiver, 75% waiver. So it's really affordable. And at the end of this, if you get a degree, we will, through this program, we also have placement opportunities created. And we really hope to place these students so that this program can really become very sought after by everybody. And that's the website, onlinedegree.iitm.ac.in. Please visit that. As of now, applications are not yet open. Applications will open on August 1st or August 3rd, the first week of August. And we are also hoping and we're quite excited to see how the program will be received by everybody. As of now, the reception is very good. A lot of people are interested. A lot of people are asking us questions about it. We hope that the application process will also span out. Okay. Thank you very much. That's the last slide that I have. So let me stop sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Thangaraj. Thank you, Shri and Sadath. I think the discussion that you have presented here is, to summarize, it looks like there is no limit to the seeker of knowledge because there are so much available. But I also believe that when these schemes were initiated, they might have looked futuristic. But I think right now, these success stories are becoming the guiding light for all the schemes that people are putting up in this time when COVID has happened and we are all limited to do what we want to do. Would one of you like to initiate a discussion or would you like to ask the other speaker anything? Or?
So my curiosity level with the school taking MOOCs to school teachers, for instance, is how was the reception from teachers for that matter? Did they have the time to do it? Did they have the willingness to do it? How did you cross that barrier when it came to students? When it came to school teachers, particularly.
Sir, I think your mic is muted. Anvar, sir?
It's okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's an interesting question. Basically, when this idea came first, MOOC, we have different types of iteration, but it didn't work. But this time, it was mandated by the government to declare their probation successfully. They have to pass this course, and there is no way for us to have a physical course. And it came like that. But once they have undergone through this course, they became the champion, and now it make a good foundation for us. And now you may get more school teachers enrolling to NPTEL. So because they are well acquainted with this system, and now they are accepting. So it was out of the demand, basically it came this way. But subsequently, through the word of mouth and their proficiency level, this thing, and all through the peer discussion mode, this thing, they are ready to do this MOOC.
Great to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I am sure.
One small question.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Do you have limitations per year for this online BSc course?
So as of now, it's an interesting question. Again, as of now, we have a very large limit. I mean, so there is really no limit in my opinion. The number of people who can enter the qualifiers, we are going to limit it at like a few lakhs. So I think so. We're not really expecting to hit those kind of numbers. Let's see. I mean, we'll never know how the.
But I am sure. See the sort of enthusiasm that I have built even here.
Okay.
From the media and the social media messages and all, I think you will be going to millions.
Oh, really?
And are you mapping the faculties with that, like mentors? And that is what we are finding it difficult.
Yeah. So in the first year, it's going to be difficult for us to do mentoring. So the foundational year, people who get through the foundational year, when they come to the second year, we will have more active. So because I think the first year is mostly foundational, where you don't really need too many strong mentoring. There's only one programming course. The programming really starts only in the second year. And that's when we will have mentoring. Mentoring
Yeah,
will happen.
that is the problem right now for us to have the MOOC course. We have fixed the 1:20 or maximum 25 ratio for the mentor to student,
Mm,
and we cannot have more than 6,000 at a time. So,
mm, mm.
but but
So
but but when it comes to the broadcast mode, the victors this COVID, because there is no other option, then it is 1:many because it's not interactive in that
yeah,
case.
so most of our material we expect to be in the broadcast mode. The
Okay.
mentoring will happen only in the second year, and we hope second year the numbers are going to be lower. I think. So, I mean,
Ah.
our hope is, I mean, people will find it harder to get through the foundation. There are 8 courses there, and that will happen at a slower pace at least. So the rate will be slower there, so that we can cope with that as well.
And I think IIT Madras is only the one which has come up with this, no?
So right now it's IIT Madras, but we are actually, we will involve faculty from other IITs, and there's quite a bit of
Okay,
support.
that will be it.
Yeah, across the board there's quite a bit of support, and so that's what we hope to use.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it looks like these platforms are very effective in dispensing knowledge. And the one concern that many students and teachers have is that how effective is this in creating a community of learning? How effective is this, or how to make it very effective? And even students give this opinion that they are missing that. So how have you managed to create that in your schemes?
So I'll say something from my side first, maybe because we had a wonderful experience here. So the reason is, it's very surprising how you think online is all each person individually doing. In NPTEL, because of the local chapters, the college students get together along with their college in their college and sort of do it socially together locally in that place. So that local chapter creates that important sort of glue that brings people together and keeps them together. You don't feel lonely while doing an online course. I think that's very effective. And even for this online degree, we are thinking about involving colleges in some very strong fashion.
So in that scheme of things, does peer learning, peer evaluation and all come into picture?
We are not doing peer evaluation. I think India, in my opinion, students are not mature enough for us to rely on peer evaluation. But peer training, I think, happens a lot in locally. So, I mean, even though if one student does you can think of it as in many ways. I think in a college, when a group of friends are doing it together, it can even go to the extent of one person submitting assignments for everybody online. It can be as much as collaborative as that, if you want me to put it like that. But I think it's also positive. A lot of things are positive. People help each other locally in the college.
But I think, the challenge is more when we come to elementary education, I think, especially when we're trying to engage the young learners. So, Anvar sir, what is your experience? What are the methods that you are developed for engaging this? Because these are like, they are all born into this digital world. They know how to use these platforms. I mean, at least they know how to use these devices. There are a lot of distractions. So how do we engage these young learners?
Yeah, see, this COVID 19 issue, we have designed everything in such a way that students are coming to schools. That was the design, actually, basically. And we have never envisaged a situation wherein the student has to do something uh, at home, because then the issue of digital divide and this thing comes. We have purposefully taken a stand that no software application which works only on smartphone, like apps, either smartphone or tab, will be encouraged. Will not, that will not be encouraged. So this was being the ground measures which we have taken earlier. What happens post May, that in June, when the schools are supposed to reopen June 1st. So we thought all these options, we take the data of student, whether they don't, how many students who don't have access to at least TV, smartphone and all, and it out of 42 lakhs, it was 2.6 lakhs at that time. Then some sort of, because this 2.6 lakh student doesn't have access at that time in the May 1st week. We have to start classes on June 1st. So we thought of, we have 1.2 lakhs machines at schools which can be shared by keeping the COVID-19 protocol and social distancing. Ultimately, we come to the broadcast medium and the Victor's channel, which has operational since 2006, which is India's first educational channel in the country, is built over the ISRO EduSat program. Honorable His Excellency late PJ Kalam inaugurated this in 2005. In 2005, it was interactive one. In 2006, we converted it as a channel. So it has been in a broadcast mode since then. But it was not available in the DTH platform. It was available only in the local cable platform. So we started discussing with the DTH players, and all of them was agreed. And that is why now, today also, there are time schedules. We have taken only half an hour for primary students, for the broadcast, 8:30 to 10:30. That is 2 hours, 4 classes for +2 students. +1 has not started. Then 10:30 to 11, that is for first class, first standard. Then again 11 to 12:30, 10th class. Likewise, we have given the schedule, timetable, which is going smoothly right now. So whoever doesn't have issue at cable or electricity at that time, it's simultaneously published on YouTube and our web streaming and other social media platform, which the teachers or the mentors, facilitator, they will be downloading and will be bringing that unit to them. So that is why we ensure access, 100% access to this 41 lakh students. It's being successful as of now.
Yeah, so it looks, I mean, it is very obvious that the KITE has launched this as a successful system, but how easy will it be to replicate in a geographically different place in the country? Has it happened already? I'm not sure whether it has happened. And if not, what changes do you think locally has to be made in the system?
It's not easy because because this has not happened in an overnight. That's what we have been doing this for years, and this is a sort of culmination of all the efforts. And many states are asking us, because they are using now their own mechanism. No, you cannot do something is better than nothing in education, because if at least 10% student doesn't have that access, that itself create a lot of imbalance and the social exclusion sort of thing. So the all inclusiveness is a must when you plan, at least in general education system. See, the private schooling system, they are even the LKG student has to undergo 2 hours class. That is horrible. That's through online, like this Zoom and other Google class, this thing and all. So it's quite difficult, but and even if you select particular channel, it will not be available to in the whole the networks, if DTH or cable network. So I don't have that solution, but no, they have to start on working that. So there is not a single solution for that. But again, you have to do the in a multiple way and put the all pieces together to get this holistic approach.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, yeah. In primary school or elementary school system, you have a well-defined way of evaluation and all. And I think you have a lot of backup plans and all wherever there are issues. But coming to technical education, how about this evaluation pattern? How about the credibility when you have these large number of universities and systems that are into place locally? How do you unify this evaluation schemes and how do you ensure that?
So as far as NPTEL is concerned, or even the online degree is concerned, all the evaluation is sort of centrally managed. It's not distributed and each person doesn't do their own thing. So we conduct exams centrally, much like the board exam. There is one time and date. People have to travel to centers and we administer the exam. And we have not found an alternative to that also. So there's not, so you can see already so many universities are struggling to hold their semester exams. There's been a directive from UGC saying you have to finish your exam by such and such a date, and there's lots of protest back saying, can we do this? How do you do this? We can't do this exam. And there's no, it's tough for a, say, for a state technical university to simply say, tell the college, you conduct your own exam. Nobody does that, right? Even in school, they don't do that. They don't say, they don't trust the schools in that fashion. You move to the Western world, it's very different. There, each school evaluates the student on their own. They have their own grades, and that's what happens. And we haven't yet reached that level. So I think that puts a challenge, a huge challenge, both. I would say even at the school level, there's that challenge. I mean, why do we need board exams which are centrally administered by everybody? Why do we need that? I think that's the first question you would ask if we have to go beyond this centralized system of exams.
Yeah, that's, I think, something that the decision-making policy makers have to think about, I think, seriously now. Let's hope the situation will change soon. Yeah. Now I think there are a lot of questions coming in from the audience. So if with your permission, I will start taking some of those very interesting questions. So let's start with, we had also asked for questions from the viewers. So the first question asked is, does KITE have any plan to use technology for making the online classes and follow-ups interactive to achieve active participation from students and local teachers? I think this points to the classroom environment, creating a classroom environment. So Anvar sir, would you like
I will see, technically it's possible, and we have even customized our own this video conferencing or online class tool, like the Cool for MOOC course. We have a big blue button based free software tool. But the issue is that right now the government have not envisaged to do these classes as a alternative classes, because it's only 2-3 months. Even if we restart the schools, we can make up these days. That is what right now it's used, the broadcast medium plus online in the sense that it is available on internet, plus offline. So that offline mode, the teacher is interacting with the students. It may be through a social media group if they have the account, or through the telephone, or at the time they will have to physically meet at this time in the different location. So making this through an online interactive mode is technically possible, or the platforms are available, but it will not all inclusive. That's the issue. It will not all inclusive, and the curriculum transaction cannot be in a serious mode, or in the pedagogical angle, it may not be correct. So that is why we'll see the situation. If it is extending too much, then it will have an alternative plan. So in short, the platform is available, but the government doesn't want to have an alternative online system for school education. It should be a supplementing one. It's not audible.
Yes, the next question is like, it could be a general question. Is there any effort, this is related to having lab courses. I think this is valid both for school and higher education. Is there any effort being made to design lab courses using virtual reality in any of these platforms? So this is again another question from a viewer, a participant.
So maybe I'll go first because I know an answer. I have an answer. So I know a few efforts where people have tried virtual labs, just simulation-oriented labs, and also labs connected to actual equipment, which people can use. Anybody can log in and use, type of thing. They have different types of successes. The cost is really high. And another interesting thing I've seen, this is from companies. When they do training of their technicians and all that, they have these virtual reality goggles or something, and then people can do like a 3D walk through the device or equipment and get trained on it, etc. It's all of that I would put under the bracket of slightly more expensive at this point. Maybe a few more years down the line, it will get to a stage where it's very scalable and becomes really useful. I think a few days back we saw a news item saying I think Jio or Reliance is coming up with a goggle which has some video features, etc. So maybe if it becomes so common for VR goggles in that fashion, then it might be more feasible.
But I think KITE, there is already some examples of these virtual classrooms.
No, that's not augmented reality or virtual reality in that per se. It's just using some techniques to have that feeling. That's all. But as he said, the augmented reality, you need that device basically to have that feeling, even the virtual reality. But certain techniques or tools which to me you are like face up or no what you do in TikTok sort of thing have been incorporated to engage students. That's all. It's not virtual reality or augmented reality in that per se.
There's another interesting question which is related to both the programs. KITE selects champions from schools as master trainers of KITE. Would NPTEL also want to do the same? What are the challenges of engaging champion teachers in NPTEL? This is one question. So it's related to what is happening in KITE and what NPTEL would like to do. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's an interesting question as well. So, and we've already started. In fact, there are a few exclusive projects where faculty from colleges across the country who have done very well in NPTEL courses are engaged in. For instance, in the translation project, they're engaged in. A few faculty, in fact, have co-offered some courses with IIT faculty also. So it is happening, but definitely not in the scale, I guess, in which KITE maybe does it. We have ambassadors of the NPTEL program who work for for publicity and things like that for the program, help us out, participate, give us feedback, do a lot of things. But for people coming in to teach, so far it's not been very plentiful. Very few we have a number, but we do have some plans for it. But as of now, it's not picking up as much as say the KITE master trainer program.
Professor Thangaraj, while you are at it, there's one more question which says, do you feel NPTEL is comparable in quality to some of the alternate options like Coursera and Udemy? So
now the word, we have a lot of comparison points. Quality is sort of a vague word that people use. I don't know what that means. It varies a lot and depends on individual users. There are courses on NPTEL which are really strong in terms of technical level and detail. Most of our courses are like that. Our courses tend to be very deep and 40 hours we teach in a subject. It's a lot of time, and typically the Coursera edX courses are aimed at a different audience, not primarily credit transfer, right? So they aim at a wider audience. So they do the courses more in a more slick fashion, very lot of other features that we have. I should also say that all of that costs more, so it costs more in terms of time from the faculty. In fact, that's a huge cost for us. It's very difficult to get faculty time in India, and also money, which is okay, maybe we can raise it, but faculty time is impossible to get. To create a really good engaging course, it's there, but see, that's one criticism we always face, that NPTEL courses are a bit boring sometimes. They're not very engaging. You have to listen to long lectures. But on the flip side, if you manage to get through an NPTEL course, you really become a much deeper expert than what you would otherwise. So I think from my side, I'm fairly happy with the way NPTEL courses are received. Yes, they are different from Coursera edX courses on a normal, if you compare them in that fashion, but they are equally good or exciting for people to take up for other reasons. I think it's based on judgment. So, Anvar sir, there's one question which says, does KITE program allow students to access content outside of the school, or is it restricted to the classroom only?
No, it's
from our director.
Yeah, no, it's basically, it doesn't restrict to schools, but we have, there will not be a program where the student cannot do in schools. That's all. For example, if there is a mobile app, children cannot bring mobile phone to schools, no, and they cannot access at school. They have to access from home. So that is what we have. We have made all programs desktop based, and it can be supplemented by this mobile platform matter. So the Samagra is available for students, teachers, and public. Uh, they can use it in anywhere.
Okay, I think that was the question, whether it's available to public
Yeah,
also, or
yes.
you don't have to be registered to any school. Okay. Another question is is to Professor Thangaraj. IIT Madras offers through NPTEL several non-technical courses in humanities and social science. This is actually a very interesting question. So this is from Vice Chairperson of Indian Society of Youth Liaison. He's asking, are there any online courses specially meant for retirees, pensioners, senior citizens? I think it's more like, what are the generic courses that are available, which can be?
So I mean, it's when we, I mean, I'll give a sort of an different answer to that question. So whenever we go to the exam on the exam day, all of us end up traveling to an exam center. So we go to the exam center just to see how the exam is happening. Is it happening properly or not? And it's amazing to see the age range of people. You'll have 17-year-old, 18-year-old college kids coming in writing the exam. You also equally have senior citizens wandering into the exam hall, sitting down and writing exams. And we ask them quite often, why are you here? What is it that brings you into the exam hall of an NPTEL exam? Why would you do that? And it's surprising to hear answers. I mean, a lot of people find something interesting to do from among the NPTEL courses. So for instance, one of our courses, which is very popular among a lot of people, is appreciating Carnatic music. So we have a course like that a lot of people like to do. And there are also many more general interest courses or even technical courses. Some people like to do follow up on some technical things that are very new and recent. And I would encourage, whatever your age is, whatever your background is, I'll encourage you to give it a shot. It doesn't cost any money. You go to our website, enroll for the courses that are out there, and pick up and see how it goes. And there may be courses that you really enjoy, and at the end of it, you'll end up taking away taking away something which is very, very good and valuable. So I would encourage people of all age groups, whether they are in college or not in college, whether they've studied or not, to sample a few NPTEL courses, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at the end of it.
Yeah, next question is actually about whether NPTEL courses can run on force. Maybe Anvar sir can also answer that.
So right now, see, the NPTEL scale is it's an online platform, and it has to run in very large scale. There are I think tens of lakhs of users at the same time, so it's difficult to put it on individual servers and all that. So it runs on Google Cloud as of now. So right now it's on Google Cloud. While the Google platform is proprietary, the cloud platform, some of the things are proprietary. There are quite a few of those which are open source also. So a lot of the technologies we use have an open source equivalent. But as of now, the platform that we use currently is heavily tied into Google Cloud, and it's not open source in that sense. But the content itself is distributed under a Creative Commons license. So it's CC BY SA. So the content is open source, but the technology we use is not fully open source as of.
Anvar sir, would you like to add?
That's more important. If the content is open source, the platform anyway, even if it's AWS or Google Cloud, it doesn't matter. But if the content is under Creative Commons license, then surely it can be treated as force-based.
In the same context, there is a slightly off question by a participant who asked, why is it that even after so much success of force in Kerala, many offices of public education are still on Microsoft platforms and tools? I'm not sure whether it's authenticated question, but
yeah, see, basically the focus is for schools, and we are. There is a strong direction for educational officers also. We have the 163 sub-district officers, then 41 district education officers, etc. And it was taking them to migrate at a certain point, but it's mandatory for them to use the free and open source software as of now. Otherwise, it's a crime, that sort of. So nothing else to say.
This question is related to the BSc degree. Given that the new BSc degree launched by IIT Madras is a fully online one, and students have in recent times opinioned that they feel demotivated when entire semesters are online, how can we ensure that student motivation is sustained?
Okay, so I have to say a few things here, which it's when you say entirely online, the instruction is online. So students have to come every month almost to a center to write exams. So the exams are offline. So there is some mechanism like that that's kept up. We are planning on mentoring mechanisms, etc. And I think ultimately the real connection will come when students form some cohorts and some groups locally, maybe associated with their college or the regular college where they are attending. So because this is sort of like a part-time program, second degree that people do mostly, right? So we're thinking of such places offering all the connections and the things that they need socially to keep them motivated and continue in the program. But I agree with you, that's an important challenge for us to solve. I mean, how do we keep the group motivated? And in the NPTEL side, the local chapters play that role. They keep the students motivated together. We have to find an equivalent on the online degree space, and we will do that very positively.
In connection with these local chapters, there are actually a couple of questions. One is creation of local chapters for NPTEL courses. Is there a plan to create a platform to encourage peer discussion? And also, could you please explain a little more about the NPTEL local chapters?
So the local chapter is nothing but a very loose arrangement between NPTEL and the management of a college. So they basically say we encourage NPTEL, we have appointed a coordinator. That's the important thing. One person in the college should get appointed as a coordinator. There's no financial transaction involved. And NPTEL sort of has a relationship through that person with the college. So we exchange information on upcoming courses, we get feedback from what's happening. We have a portal, entire portal, the local chapter portal, where we retain all information on the college's participation on NPTEL courses. So when things like NAC accreditation councils come to visit in the hospitals, visit the colleges. I'm sorry, I keep saying colleges for accreditation. They look at this data in the local chapter portal. They go and see what has been your participation in NPTEL, and that's a fantastic way for us to give back to the local chapters, and that's useful for them. In that fashion, we hold regional workshops for local chapters in IIT Madras every year. Twice we do that. We bring everybody together, give them a forum for exchanging ideas on what works, doesn't work, etc. And there are forums in every course. So every course has a forum where they can participate. And additionally, there are also special forums, WhatsApp groups for local chapter representatives. Like I said, it's a very well-established functioning organism in some sense.
This question is, I think, more valid in the elementary school level. How can the social development of students be encouraged in online learning? That is, how can we promote interaction among students? I think this is more relevant to school level.
Yeah, basically, yeah. First of all, it's not an online learning sort of thing. That we have been telling again and again. There is a program called First Bell, which started from June 1st. It's not online in that per se. But we have now started some physical exercise also through this thing, like yoga and all, which they can be practiced. And see, the student interaction among students and the teacher-student interaction has to happen in the classroom, for which now there is no alternate except to reopen the school. That's all. So, but right now the focus is to make them engage positively. That's all.
So I think I have a sort of a answer to this interaction question that keeps coming all the time in the space of online things. So I think the way to visualize it, the way to think of an educational institution, say 20 years from now, where there'll be a lot of content online, I think it's educational institutions will find it useful to connect the students who come to their center to all these online platforms that give them a lot of content, and then provide all the other social interaction, everything else locally in that facility. So I think the school and college that we are thinking of today, the brick and mortar institutions will evolve in that fashion. I think you can see KITE has already put in so much infrastructure into the schools itself. Colleges definitely have the infrastructure. So we have to visualize. It's difficult to see how this will happen, but I think I'm more and more confident that it will happen in some form. Already quite a few colleges do credit transfer, right? So likewise, credit transfer might happen. Interdisciplinary programs, you just instead of defining strict silos as programs, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, you just let the student come and pick up different areas, different bundles from different areas, put it together, and then try and sell it to a company, right? So I think the ecosystem will evolve in that fashion. So I think this divide between online not enabling social will go away in that fashion. Anyway, hopefully that gave you some sort of an answer. Sunita, I think you're on mute if you're saying something.
Yes. Yeah. So another question that has come up is what will be the weightage? This is again related to the BSc course. What will be the weightage given to this online BSc in university and industry? Because in olden days, recruitment to PhD or masters, etc., demanded only regular degree and not core courses.
So I think, see, again, universities have a clear definition on what degree they accept for MSc. So if you go look at any university, they would say very clearly, any BSc is acceptable. Sometimes for some programs, they would say any BSc is acceptable. They don't put the requirements beyond that. So this degree, IIT Madras is authorized by the IIT Act, which is an act of parliament to offer degrees. So IIT Madras, when it offers a degree, it's already approved, it's already legal. There's no way in which it can be debated at that point. So it's equivalent to any BSc degree, just like any other BSc degree. If somebody says BSc degree, that's how it is. Now, if they say, if a university says BSc in mathematics, right, or BSc with a significant mathematics curriculum, then it's that university's job to go and see whether our program fits it or not. We can help that, but they have to be very careful. So subject-wise, it's difficult to guarantee, but I think if it's just a degree, this is as good a degree as any.
Yeah. This question is related to Anvar sir's topic. Under this pandemic, how the poor aspirants are supported? Does the government provide any laptop, tab, or mobile to create access? I think this is one relevant question that has come up again and again, and I think
this issue was there because in the first 2 weeks it was on a trial mode. Okay, June 1st to 14th. So the needy students were identified, and even the local community, irrespective of the political parties, social groups, and other NGOs, all came together, and they have started. Initially we were envisaging to make them a facility. Maybe 2-3 students can make a nearest library or a Kudumbashree unit, and they can go and watch it. That was the plan. If that was not working, then they can take the machines at school, because 1.2 lakh machines are at the school. They can take it and they can bring the students in a common center. That was the initial plan. But it has gone beyond to that, to the extent that each student has started getting these devices at their home. So the community ownership has gone to that extent. Now this is not an issue. Even if somebody has some problem with their devices and all, there are community other than even the governmental system, the local self-government institution, government has give permissive sanction to put these devices to them. See, the main hurdle was, even if you have money and you are ready to do that, the devices were not available. No, because of this thing. But we were able to bridge that gap, and now that is perfectly a comfortable level.
Yeah, one generic question, probably some concluding questions. With respect to both NPTEL and KITE, there are models, these are models which bring systematic changes in the system, probably through decentralization. What are some takeaways that you can provide for other sectors in this direction?
Other sectors, okay, so that's interesting. Yeah. So one thing I found, which at least my own learning takeaway from me, if you will, there's an amazing hunger for good quality education in the country. I think people really appreciate someone providing high quality, good education to them at low cost. in a sincere fashion designed to help them, they really appreciate. I'm sure even Mr. Anvar Sadath will agree with me on this. So I think people really appreciate that in a great way. So when we travel across the country to many places, we do that quite often to do workshops, tell people about NPTEL, and really people are excited and they say, I mean, for someone from IIT to, instead of just sitting in some ivory tower, come down and really try to teach everybody, open out the whole thing, give access. People really appreciate that. I think somebody to do that. I think so. For any other sector, if you have any plan like this, where you take a high quality product and you want to distribute it at large scale to a lot of people, enable people who don't have that access to get it in India, it's going to be greatly appreciated. I think there's no doubt about it.
Anvar sir, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, I have 2 points. One is first, whenever you do this sort of interventions, in which sector it is, whether it is agriculture, health, or education, and all, there should be an ownership among the community. That is one. So the KITE or earlier IIT school were able to come to this because this system has been owned up by the teaching community first, because they are seeing the trainers among them. They are seeing the content which is in tune with their pedagogy, the transaction. When it came to as a foreign element, an IT expert is teaching to a teacher, so it was a different. So the ownership of the system is very important. Second one, the use of technology and other aspects that should be affordable, and it should have a social inclusiveness in mind. So these 2 aspects I want to share with you.
That's a great point, sir. I totally agree with that point. I think if the local chapters don't own the NPTEL thing as much as they do now, we would never have reached the scale. I think it's absolutely essential that you have that local connect and ownership and community sense from everybody.
Yeah, I think all these conversations has put forth the fact that you're running such successful schemes. So there's this small worry that is there in most of the teachers' mind, the teaching community at all, as a whole, that will online learning push teaching to become a niche profession, such that we have few magnificent teachers reaching to millions of students directly. What happens to that?
So it's a fear that's been expressed quite often to us as well. So far it's been unfounded. I don't think it's resulted in anything drastic as of now, but we don't know. I mean, so any intervention like this, which is at large scale, has that risk along with it as well. We are aware of that, but I don't think it's something to be worried about. I would put it like this. I mean, if you are really good at what you do, it's very hard to replace a person like that with any technology or anything else like that. So I think it should only strive to make you better at what you do, and I think that's the way to look at the situation.
What is your view on this, Anvar?
Yeah, the survival of fittest theory will not apply here. And no, teacher, they have a role, and the teaching is not an acting. No, it's not a performing. So they have a role, and that role will continue, no doubt.
Yeah, the motivational part of it, which I think is if people are good at that, then definitely that cannot be replaced by anything online or technology.
Even with such effective courses, we still have that part. It's been a delight. It has been a delight to talk to both of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for discussing and sharing with us your thoughts. And maybe we can conclude now. As a conclusion, I would like to thank both the speakers for having taken their time off their busy schedule and spending the time with us. Secondly, I would like to thank our director, Professor Sunil Kumar, who's been always the guiding light behind all such initiatives that we have taken up. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Abhiyan of the District Public Library. It is with their collaboration that we are running this series so successfully. And without that, I think it will not reach the community, which is actually the intention of the series. I must also thank the CFET team at IIT Palakkad who have facilitated this entire program without any glitches. Thank you. And last but not the least, thank you to the participants and attendees who've come in large numbers and shared their views. Some of the questions we could not take up, definitely due to time constraint, but they were all very constructive. And I hope this discussion has led to a lot of revelations and thoughts for future, for building our future community, future generations. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think we will sign off now.
Thank you. Thanks a lot to IIT
Right.
Palakkad, Dr. Sunita, Professor Sunil. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.